I was just thinking about how our personal data is like a delicate flower. It's beautiful, but also super vulnerable. Just imagine if someone walked into a garden and just started picking all the flowers, right? Not exactly the most poetic analogy, but stick with me here. In the case of Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center, TTUSC, that's exactly what happened. A cyber attack, like a sneaky gardener, snuck in and started harvesting sensitive data from over 1.4 million individuals. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that's a whole lot of flowers, or in this case, personal data. According to the TTUHSC, the hackers got their hands on some pretty sensitive stuff, like social security numbers, financial account info, government-issued ID details, and even medical records. Wait, let me correct that. It's not just medical records, it's the whole shebang. Billing data, diagnosis, treatment information. Yikes! I can only imagine how unsettling it must be to receive a notification that all this info has been compromised. The attack happened back in September, and TTUHSC has been working to notify the affected individuals. But here's the thing. Their security incident website has some pretty sneaky code on it. I'm no web developer, but I've heard of the Noindex thingy, right? It's like a secret handshake for search engines, telling them to ignore the page. Oops, I just gave away a little web dev secret. Anyway, it's making it a bit harder for folks to find the website, which is, super helpful in this situation. Now, I'm not one to speculate, but it seems like the Interlock ransomware group might be behind this cyber attack. They've claimed responsibility on their dark web leak site, and allegedly they've published 2.1 million files stolen from TTUHSC. That's a whole lot of files, if you ask me. The good folks at TechCrunch have seen the published files, and according to them, the total data size is around 2.6 terabytes. That's a lot of digital flowers, if you will. This whole situation got me thinking about the long-term implications. How do you recover from having your personal data compromised on such a massive scale? It's not just about fixing the immediate problem. It's about trusting the systems that are supposed to keep our data safe. It's like if you're a gardener and someone keeps stealing your flowers, you might start to wonder if it's the garden itself that's the problem, or if it's just the gardener who's not doing their job. The contrast between TTUHSC's efforts to notify affected individuals and the stealthy approach of the attackers is striking. It's like the university is trying to be transparent and open, while the hackers are hiding in the shadows, snatching data left and right. I guess that's just the nature of cyber attacks, but it's still unsettling to think about. I've been thinking about this situation, and I keep coming back to the idea that our personal data is like a delicate flower. It's beautiful, but also super vulnerable. And just like a gardener needs to protect their flowers from sneaky thieves, we need to be mindful of the systems that handle our sensitive data. Maybe it's time to start thinking about data protection in a more holistic way. Like, how can we create a digital garden that's not just beautiful, but also secure? I was just talking to my friend's cousin who works in cybersecurity, and they were saying how these cyber attacks are getting more and more sophisticated. It's not just about some random guy fishing for passwords anymore. It's entire organized groups like the Interlock ransomware gang, which just claimed responsibility for that huge cyber attack on the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center. Now, I'm no expert, but from what I understand, the hackers managed to get their hands on some extremely sensitive information. We're talking social security numbers, financial account details, government-issued IDs, and even medical records. Can you imagine having all that stuff compromised? It's like your whole life is an open book. Oops, wait, let me correct that. It's more like your whole life is a Google search result. Anyway, the university confirmed that over 1.4 million individuals had their personal info accessed during the hack. And to make matters worse, the attackers stole a whopping 2.6 terabytes of data, which is roughly the equivalent of 2.1 million files. That's a lot of confidential information floating around the dark web. I've heard of people searching for cat videos on YouTube, but this is on a whole different level. As per the listing on the U.S. Department of Health's data breach portal, TTUHSC is notifying 1.46 million individuals about the breach. I guess that's one way to get people to pay attention, by compromising their personal info and telling them about it afterwards. Just kidding. This is no laughing matter. From what I've gathered, the Interlock ransomware group took to their dark web leak site to claim responsibility for the attack. They even published some of the stolen files, just to prove a point, I suppose. It's like they're saying, hey, we're not just some faceless hackers, we're a group with a message. Wait, let me correct that. They're not exactly sending a message of love and kindness. This kind of attack has far-reaching consequences, not just for the individuals affected, but also for the university and the cybersecurity community as a whole. I mean, how do you prevent something like this from happening in the first place? It's like trying to stop a cat from chasing a laser pointer. It's a tall order. It's also worth noting that the university's security incident website is currently not indexed by search engines, making it harder for people to find the information they need. I guess that's one way to keep the news under wraps, but it's not exactly ideal for transparency and accountability. In any case, this attack serves as a stark reminder of the importance of cybersecurity and data protection. We need to be vigilant and proactive in protecting our sensitive information, not just for ourselves, but for the greater good. After all, as my friend's cousin would say, security is everyone's responsibility.